Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Corner Wath with the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp. Come with another lesson to the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And this morning, I just wanted to touch on this article, the brother in New Orleans had brought out, right? Because Putin, I read the title. It says Putin says Biden's remark about Russian plan to attack NATO is complete nonsense, right? But prophecy says otherwise, man, right? Putin can say all he wants to, man, but it's prophesied, right, that these Russian Edomites are gonna, set their face, against, these American Babylonian Edomites and these NATO nations, man, right? To get this World War III started, man. So just reading in this article, just real quick, and then I got another article I want to touch on. It reads, Kremlin chief Vladimir Putin says U.S. President Joe Biden's claim that Russia would attack a NATO country if he won in the Ukraine was complete nonsense, adding that Russia had no interest in fighting with NATO military alliance. Biden earlier this month warned that if Putin won a victory over Ukraine, then Russia would attack a NATO country. Biden offered no clear evidence for his remarks. It is complete nonsense, and I think President Biden understands that Putin said in an interview published by Sunday in Royasa state television, saying it was an attempt by Biden to justify his erroneous policy on Russia. Russia has no reason, interest, no geopolitical interest, neither economic, political, or military to fight with NATO countries, right? But like I said, man, prophecy says otherwise, man, right? You read Ezekiel 38, right? Gog and Magog. Actually, let's go grab that, you know, because like I have here in Revelation 16 and 17, eventually these 10 horns, being these NATO nations, that global alliance, the allies that America has right now, are going to turn against him, man, or turn against her, rather, right? Being the whore. Just read it real quick, Revelation 17 and 16. And then the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So we're gonna see, these things start to take place, man. We're gonna see uh, Russia and China, as well as these various other nations start to turn on Babylon the Great, right? But as this World War III starts to ramp up, Russia is gonna have to go after, right, these other NATO nations because uh, with Israel and Palestine, Israel is going to force America, into these battles, man. Right, the least of the flocks shall draw them out. Right, so they're going to force America in, and America is going to need these other NATO nations, to get involved. And guess what? Russia is going to have to, take a stand, as it reads in Ezekiel, man. Right. Let's just touch that real quick. Uh, Ezekiel 38. And I will start in verse 1. It reads, And the word came unto the Lord came unto the Lord, Salakia. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Right? So Gog and Magog, speaking of these Russian Edomites, man, right, that took over that land. It reads, And say, Thus saith the Lord power. Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Right, so the Lord is against, these Russian Edomites. He's against these Edomites, period. Right, and that's why he has them, with all this infighting, man. Right. It says, "And I will turn thee," because like the scriptures say, if Satan, fight against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And so those hooks are being brought back, right? That Soviet era spirit as brothers go into, right? Because after their collapse, they've been looking at the Western world, you know, with disdain, man, right? Uh, and now the Lord is stirring them back up, right, to lead these nations against Babylon. You go into how this is Jeremiah 50, 50, 51. It's like it. Yep, this is Jeremiah 51 and verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And so the nations, are starting to turn against this place, man. They're starting to see, America as it truly is, right? And Putin's only recourse, to get to America is through these other NATO nations, man, right? They have to go against NATO, right, in order to force to put Babylon the Great, also known as America, on its heels, man. That's the only way they can get touched, because then the NATO nations are gonna realize that America is the reason why, they're about to get dragged into this war, right? And then like we read in that Revelation, they're gonna continue. They're gonna turn on her, man. Right? We can go to Revelation, chapter 20, 20 and 20 and 8. It reads, let's see, it was starting 8. No, it's starting 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, right? And shall go out to deceive the nations which are on the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Right. So all these global allies again are going to turn on Babylon the Great. So Putin can say what he wants to, right? Right. He can have his opinion, right? But prophecy says otherwise, right? It's not up to him, right? It's all his decisions are in the hands of the Lord, right? Go to Proverbs, right? Because it clearly says, the heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord, man, right? Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will, man. So the Lord, like it says here, the heart of the king's heart is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. He guides it wherever he pleases, man. All right, so wherever the Lord pleases, that's where the decisions, these global rulers is going to take place, man. It's not up to them, right? They have no power. They have no control, right? It's all the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua at the end of the day, right? Um, let me see here. Select it. Right, let's look at this. It's Proverbs 16, just to hit that point again, right? Because Putin, you know, he might genuinely feel this way, right? Which I don't believe, but even if he did, this is what prophecy is speaking on the contrary, man. This is Proverbs 16 and 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai directed his steps, right? So like it says in the NLT, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps, right? So he can say what he wants to, right? But ultimately the Lord, has his own plans, man. The Lord has prophecies that need to be filled, Salakia. And His words are not going to come back void, man. Right? That's Isaiah 51. Was it 51? Salakia. 50. Salakia. Because the Lord's words won't return unto Him void, man. 55. This is Isaiah 55 and 11. I'll start in 9, 8. It's like Isaiah 55 and 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh bring forth the bud, that it may give seed and to the sower and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Right. So the Lord's word is going to do what He said it's going to do, man. Right. All these prophecies that are written in this book, right? You know, through every chapter, right? Everything that's written in here is written to take place. So Putin can say again, he can say what he wants to, he can think what he wants to, but prophecy says otherwise, man. Right now, jump into this other article, right? Because Putin is saying this, but in the meantime, the Russian foreign minister, is saying this, man, right? It says the West 500-year dominance is ending, right? So this, look, they know that the West is coming to an end. The Western world, as we see, it's starting to crumble, right? That decadence is starting to cause a great fall, man, right? Destroying the minds of the people, the values, the so-called morals, right? These people have no order, right? And that's why this is called Babylon the Great. You know, Baal or Babal going into confusion, man, right? So this is the great confusion, man. Isaiah 19 calls this place Marathiam, right? That goes into double rebellion. So this is the most wicked kingdom, on the face of the earth. And it's about to, like it says, this dominance is coming to an end, man. Right now, just jumping around in this article, um, and we'll just start from the top. It says the 500-year-long dominance of the West is coming to an end, being replaced by a new polycentric world, which is not that's not going to happen, right? That polycentric world nonsense going into how there's going to be multiple superpowers in the earth, right? Once this war kicks off, right? They think Russia and China, are gonna fall into place, as Babylon, the Great America, falls into the background, right? But we understand that, Israel is the only, the only superpower that's gonna be established, man. Yasharala, underneath Yahweh Shai, man. It says Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in the video on Sunday. Um, the ministers expressed great and certain regrets. Like the minister expressed regret that certain circumstances prevented him from coming to the Qatari capital in person and hearing discussions at the annual high-profile event. But I assume that you were discussing the multipolar world, which is emerging after 500 years of domination of what we call the collective West, right? Because that's going into these NATO nations, right? It says um, because they're attached, to Babylon, right, through that treaty. It reads, this hegemony of the U.S. and its allies have been based on a diverse history, including ruthless exploitation of peoples and territories of other countries, right? Because this is, rape, robbery, and murder, right? He's been given the sword, to terrorize the earth. And this is why these nations are turning against him, right? It says he smote them in anger with a continual stroke, right? Let me get that. I think it's Isaiah 14. It's like it's Isaiah 14:6. It reads, he who smote the people in wrath, actually let's start in 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers. So that power is being destroyed, man, right? Their influence, right? Their affluence, is being removed, right? By Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. None hindereth because these nations, have been under constant persecution, man, right? Reading the NLT, for the Lord has crushed your wicked power and broken your evil rule. You struck the people with endless blows of rage and held the nations in your angry grip with unrelenting tyranny. So as you read articles like this, man, you see the mindset, of these other nations, man. You see the mindset of Russia. You see the mindset of China, right? That they're ultimately their focus is on getting America out of the power seat, man. And and Putin saying, they have no plan to attack NATO. That's contrary to prophecy, man. Right? They have to attack NATO, right? Because America is a NATO ally, right? So these, uh, whether it be, through the Israel-Palestine conflict, whether it be through the Ukrainian situation, whether it be through China and Taiwan, right? Russia is going to get involved, in a war between these NATO nations, man, right? And it's just prophecy, man, right? And this in World War III has to take place, right? The Valley of Decision has to have that final battle, right? Because these nations have to be gathered together, right, to come up against Yahweh Shai ultimately, and to be destroyed without hand, as the scriptures tell you, man. Right? They have to be, sore afraid and yet durst fight. So all this is prophesied to take place. The downfall of Babylon the Great, ultimately the uprooting of this Edomite hegemony, man. And the establishment, of Yahweh Shai's kingdom, man. But just a quick lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem outside, and touching on these couple articles. I pray that the lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. I want to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Ekwam Yasharala. Shalom.